welcome back to the Sam Beast YouTube channel. My name is David Foxen, and before we get started, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help the channel out. Now, you're probably sick and tired of hearing about this because it has been everywhere in the ITAM industry over the last week, and that is the Gartner SAM Services Magic Quadrant. Now, they've just released their 2024 report, but I wanted to go through what this report is and why you, as an ITAM professional, should be interested in it. So first of all, this is an industry report that basically ranks the SAM managed services providers out there based on a set number of criteria defined by Gartner. The Magic Quadrant assesses these companies on things like the completeness of their vision, their ability to execute, and how they provide their SAM services to their clients and customers. Gartner then categorizes these into 4 different segments. You have leaders, challengers, visionaries, and niche players. So for example, the leaders are those that are excelling in the SAM managed services space, whereas the niche players may only be focusing on certain services or have a smaller consultant base. But there's not to say that you shouldn't not think about them or you should count them out, because just even making the Magic Quadrant report is kind of a win in itself. Not everyone is eligible to join this. More on that in a second. The leaders are those that understand the market. They're providing the best services. They're thinking about the future as well by involving things like FinOps, artificial intelligence, cloud services, etc. And they are what Gartner has deemed as being the leaders within the SAM managed service industry. Organizations can, of course, move throughout this report each year. For example, a company may be in niche players, and then they may move up to challengers or visionary or even becoming a leader. It changes year on year. It's dynamic. It moves about. You don't, just because you're up in the leader role now doesn't mean that you can't drop back and get a different categorization next year. So the emphasis really is on making sure that these SAM managed services that are in the leaders area remain a leader and don't drop back, because I can imagine the PR for that would not be good. Also, to clarify, if you're looking at the 2024 report, which we'll look at in a later video, unfortunately, Sam Beast Consulting are too high up, top right in the leaders category, that Gartner said, guys, we can't include you, David, I'm afraid. You're just too far right. We don't have a big enough table to put you in there. So we decided that, we wouldn't add Sam Beast Consulting into the Magic Quadrant this year. Tongue in cheek, of course it's a joke. I'm a one-man army. Not yet, not yet. So this report is really interesting and valuable for IT and ITAM professionals that are potentially looking at going down the SAM managed services route. It gives you an idea of who the runners and riders are, who the leaders are determined by Gartner. And as we all know, C-levels and senior management love these Gartner reports and love to come to you and say, oh, Gartner says you have to do this, we must do it as well. So it's a great starting point if you're looking at a SAM managed service. Key point though, not all SAM managed service providers are in the Magic Quadrant. There are some that don't qualify. There are some that decided not to be a part of it. And it's not to say that these guys are not worth considering, because they absolutely are. There are some amazing ITAM managed services. I'm going to use the phrase ITAM now because SAM managed service feels like it's so, 2010s. We're now in the ITAM world. There are loads of ITAM managed service providers out there that won't make this list, that you should absolutely still be talking to and evaluating whether they're a right fit for your organization. Just because they're on this list doesn't mean that they're going to be right for you. Okay, so that's an important thing to remember. I know a lot of leadership teams love the Gartner reports and will only look at people in Gartner, but there are others out there that are amazing and definitely worth your time looking into. The other thing that we should say is, even Gartner say this in their report, is this is their opinion. This is based on the data that they've been provided. This is based on their assessment, based on their own criteria. It's not a one size fits all. It may not work within your organization. It's what they have determined as the runners and riders, leaders, niche players, challenges, etc., based on the assessment they go through. It should not be taken as fact. And something else also to consider when you're looking through these reports is some of these SAM managed service providers are also resellers. They're also acting on behalf of software vendors in an audit scenario as well. Now, of course, I'm not saying that that should have any kind of cloud on your judgment, but please do remember that the two businesses will be completely separated. For example, the likes of KPMG and Deloitte are in the 2024 version, but they do have their own SAM managed services part of the company too. Never the two should meet, but again, it's just something to consider and something to be mindful of as you go through the report looking at potential SAM managed service providers. So yeah, just consider the independentness of the SAM managed service if that organization may also have an audit arm or a software resale arm or a cloud services arm. Again, not saying that they talk to each other, but again, it's just something as an ITAM professional that you should consider. So like I said earlier, these reports come out every year. They move, people go added into the Magic Quadrant, people are removed, people go top right, then move, then come down here, people that started off down here go up there, and it's a really good way to benchmark where the industry is going right now. I did look into the 2024 report, and we will be doing a little bit of analysis on that in a future video. But some of the key trends in there about FinOps, which is awesome to see because ITAM and FinOps are a match made in heaven. We've also got AI and how organizations are using AI to reduce software spend, look at consumption, do internal auditing, using their own AI tools to interpret contracts, etc., which is, again, really exciting as well. Put a link in the description where you can get a copy of the report, thanks to Anglepoint, who, spoiler alert, were in the leaders category. And if you sign up there, you can actually get a full access to the report. It's like an hour's read, but if you're an ITAM geek, it's definitely worth having a look at. The report explains more about the criteria, what Gartner were looking for, how they did the scoring, etc. Hopefully that's given you a bit of an insight as to what this SAM Managed Services Magic Quadrant is and the purpose of it, why you should be interested in it. Another thing why you should be interested, before I forget, is also looking at where the market is going. If these SAM managed service providers are looking at FinOps, looking at AI, maybe you should within your ITAM function. If you know that a competitor is using a specific SAM managed services and you can see what Gartner's saying their strengths and weaknesses are, maybe that's more information for you as you build out your ITAM strategy. You can use everything to your advantage in ITAM. There's always bits of information you can take to improve your own ITAM knowledge base or your own ITAM function within the organization you're working with. In summary, that is what the SAM Managed Services Gartner Magic Quadrant is. We got there. They do other Magic Quadrants within the ITAM space as well, and we can do explainer videos on those too. If you found it useful, please, as always, make sure you like this video, and we hope to see you next time here at the SAM Beast YouTube channel. Happy ITAMing.